So what's good, gang, man? This is your boy Q Rich, and I am back with another video on how to start driving trucks for beginners. So stay tuned.
All about them rats, nigga. I ain't gotta prove that I'm that nigga. Wake up, poppin' shit, take out 10 before 10. Pull up black truck, I say, baby, come get in. Smoke on this gas, I miss the gas, so with the gin. Whatever happens, it happens in the end.
So I am a truck driver entrepreneur, someone who's all about chasing dreams. Let me take you through my journey and drop some gems on you real quick. Let me give you a little backstory. Before I started my company, I was driving for a tow truck company, right? And I was doing little light records, and I was telling them like, "Hey, I want to get on the heavy side," and they was like, "In order to get on the heavy side, you got to go get your CDL." So I gave about 3 months, 4 months. I'm fast forward. I gave about 3 months, 4 months. I was driving for them. One day I got up and I was like, tired of doing this. So I started studying. Matter of fact, I didn't study. I went into the DMV and I was like, I want to get my CDL. They were like, take this test. They were like, study, take the test. So I grabbed the paperwork, went home. I studied all that day. When I got back, I studied all that day. After that, I ended up going the next day. This is how commended I was. This is how motivated I was to get my CDL. Right. So I went the next day. I studied all day, and I didn't read no books. I went on the YouTube. They got videos on YouTube with the answers on there in the questions. Right. They give the questions and the answers. So I think me personally, YouTube was a little bit better because I was able to play it back, play it back, go. So after I was done with that, the first one that I had did was the general knowledge. Watched that video. The next day I went in, took a test. I failed it because I took it on the computer. And I didn't know that you could take the actual paper test. So I went back home. I was like, I had all the answers, but everything that I was looking at on this computer was not what I studied for. So I tried studying again. When I went back this time, I was like, instead of doing the computer, can I do the paper test? They was like, yeah. So when I did the paper test, I passed it with 100. I was like, that's a little weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything I studied for is on the paper test, but everything I didn't study for was on the computerized test. So that's another thing too. If you're starting to go out and you want to get your CDLs, do the paper test, your CDL, not CDLs, do the paper test. Don't do the computerized test. It's a little more harder, and then they got questions that you didn't study for, right? Um, Now, after I was done with that, I kind of went and I did um I want to say every subject like that because you got general knowledge, you got air brakes and combination. So I did every one of those like that. I went back after I was done with my general knowledge. I went and studied my air brakes. Um, I studied that and went the next day, took the test. I did each one like that. I passed them all because I did them on the paper test now around this time. And then once I was done, they give you your permit. After your permit, now the new regulation and new laws, you got to go into a school. So either you could pay for it and go to a school, which is a little pricey, like $5,000 or something like that, depending on where you go, or you could go into actual um, schools that will pay them for you, right? So after I was done with that, I started searching up what schools I could go to in order for me to get my actual CDL. So I looked up the school. Matter of fact, I seen this guy that was driving that stayed where I stayed at. I asked him, I say, man, what do you do and how did you get into your truck? He was like, go here, they pay for it. Um, they'll pay for it, they'll take you through the school, all that. So he just gave me the name. I did the rest on my own. After I did that, they called me and I go do the paperwork. Matter of fact, I go do the paperwork online. They called me in like 2 days later. Like, hey, we got your application. You come in, we'll get you a bus ticket or a plane ticket down. First, go take these drug tests. Once you're done, get to a clearinghouse. Done with the clearinghouse, come in. I did all that. I went in. When I had went in, you got to go through more paperwork. It's like a week worth of paperwork. So you go in, you do your paperwork. They're taking you through all these simulations of driving. You getting through clearing houses. You're doing a bunch of paperwork, right? Then you go through what's the vision that you want to go through, whether it's driving, reefer, flatbed, tanker, intermodal. I did flatbed for 3 years, right? So I'm getting out of flatbed. I'm going to tanker. But make a long story short, now that we're here, um, that's how I started my journey with that. Lessons that I had learned, man, is always invest in yourself. Whether it could be CDL, it could be a small business, it could be you investing in the real estate, you getting IULs, you getting into crypto, stocks, whatever you doing, you always want to take your money and invest it back into yourself. You don't ever want to give your money to different people, companies that you're not going to be able to see your money back, right? Uh, so I say that to say this: you want your money to work for you. I read a lot of books, and you want your money to work for you. Let me put it how they put it for me. Your dollars, they have babies, coins, right? The coins are going to work for every piece of dollar that you have. Every piece of coin got to work, which is the babies, right? So the babies are going to work as well as the adults are going to work. So you put these dollars into different places. You save your coins and put them in different places as well. You can put your dollars into real estate, stock portfolios. Let's see, you can start a car business or laundromat, and the coins could be something smaller, right? To kind of get up to where your dollars is at, because every cent adds up, right? Don't make dollars, don't make sense, don't make sense, don't make dollars. So that's a little bit of advice that I can give y'all right there. Don't skip the research. Don't skip the research. Learn about routines, learn about fuel costs, learn about everything. You know what I'm saying? When you first start out, you are a student to this space. Be a student. Don't try to jump and be an expert. Don't try to jump and be the OG, how they say it. Be the student. Learn as much as you can while people is willing to teach you. Because I tell you what, as me being a driver for so long, I can say I'm experienced now. These guys will not teach you anything if you don't ask. Or if you do ask, some of these guys still ain't willing to teach you because they just don't have the time. So if somebody's willing to sit down and teach you, take it and run with it. Take it and run with it, because it's rare that somebody's willing to be like, hey, I give the time. I teach you what to do and what not to do. I teach you how to fuel up and save money by fueling. I teach you how, if this happens during the winter time, you got to do this, because it's a lot of mistakes that's out here that you're going to make as being a beginner if you've never seen it before. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. And be ready to see a lot of people getting hurt driving too. Sad to say, but it is what it is. A lot of people, they don't respect the road. They don't respect drivers. They don't respect others. So when that happens, tragic accidents happen. I've had breakdowns and slow weeks, right? But planning ahead always helped me to get back on track. It always helped me to get back on track. If you don't plan ahead, you're most definitely going to succeed in this space, in this field, in this career, in this business. Planning is everything, because you're moving so quick. You got to be able to plan ahead. You got to be able to. So what I normally do is, when I have a load and I'm getting close to dropping off, I always tell my dispatcher, hey, next load, pre-plan me ahead, so I can route plan, so I can trip plan, so I can get my fuel together, where I might have to sleep at for the night, where I might have to, what I'm going to eat. So I always plan that ahead of time, because you do not, you do not want to go somewhere where you paying more fuel where you could have stopped 10 miles back because it was cheaper than this one, where they got 125 parking spots rather than this one having 60. You always want a route plan. trip plan. It's way better and it makes your life easier. You also save money that way. If you want to start a trucking business, do not wait for the perfect time. You want to start small, learn the ropes, and build from there. Always do not be afraid to network. Do not be afraid to network. Talk to other drivers and learn from their experience. If y'all see me looking down, it's because I wrote a lot of things down for you guys in order for me to tell y'all a lot of things I had to write down. I had to really get my knowledge out and really write down what I needed to tell y'all because it's going off the head, I'll be freestyling. And I don't want to freestyle y'all and give y'all wrong information. So I want to give y'all the right information. So if y'all see me looking down or whatever, it's because I'm reading my notes of what I wrote down to tell you, to tell y'all. Gotta fix my little bing bong. I can do it, you can do it, right? It's all about believing in yourself, right? It's not gonna be easy at first, but you gotta stick to it. You gotta fight through it. If it was easy to become rich, do you know how many rich people there would be? Let me put it like that. If it was easy to become rich, you know how many rich people there would be. I know there's a lot of rich people, but ask them their story. They have stories and backgrounds of how hard it was to get there, right? So it's just the beginning for me, and I can't wait to see what's next. I am looking to put my trucking business on autopilot, put people in my trucks, add more trucks to my fleet, get my own dispatchers inside of a warehouse, get my own mechanic shop inside of this warehouse. I'm looking to add all these things on in the next few couple of years or so, so that I don't have to contract with others and pay them money. I can keep that in-house and pay my people more. So that's my goal, what I'm going to do with this trucking business. But y'all just stay tuned for that because it's in the works. Find this helpful or inspiring. Also drop a like, subscribe for more videos about trucking and entrepreneurship. And I'm out.